It's time for The Craft. Crafting business, relationships, and of course, the world's best cocktails. Live from the iconic Scottsdale landmark, Hotel Valley Ho. So sit back and shake up your favorite cocktail. It's The Craft. Here's Robert.
I'm Robert Van Erlen. We are here at The Craft Podcast, Hotel Valley Ho, located in Scottsdale, Arizona, and we're here on Wednesdays. Let me get some things adjusted here before we get started. There we go, because you need to see my guest for today. And it is Jamal Mateen. Jamal, say hello to the podcast, the Craft Podcast listening audience.
Hello, Rob. How you doing today?
I'm doing all right.
I really appreciate
this is going to be exciting because this guy and I have known each other for quite some time now, and you know what? I don't know a lot about him. But I'm going to learn a lot today, so that's all that matters. Anyway, The Craft is shot here at the Hotel Valley Ho Zuzu Lounge on Wednesdays, and you can catch us on Spotify, you can catch us on Amazon. We are now going to be up on YouTube, on our YouTube channel called The Craft Podcast. But look up Zuzu Lounge, Hotel Valley Ho. I'm Robert Van Erlen, and let's just get going with The Craft today. So, Jamal, tell me, you've been in Scottsdale. Are you from here?
I am. I've been here pretty much my whole life, since I was about 5 years old. Grew up in North Phoenix, like Moon Valley area, but moved to Scottsdale, over 25 years ago. Went to high school out here. Went to college in Pittsburgh. Went to University of Pittsburgh.
University of Pittsburgh.
University
so
of Pittsburgh.
Still Steelers guy?
Well, you know what? I don't watch a lot of football, but yes, I am. If I do watch football, I definitely am a Steelers guy. Been a Steelers fan actually since I was a kid.
Is that right?
Even though my family is kind of all from Chicago, but I always like the Steelers.
Always like
Always like the Steelers. So, yes, grew up out here. Moved away to go to college, as I said. But since then, Arizona. I love Arizona.
What do you love about it?
It's a great question. I would say number one, the weather. Now, July, August, September, obviously, it's not the greatest place in the world to be. Probably one of the hottest places on earth.
Right.
But what I try to do is July, August, and September, I'm gone. I usually, I'll travel July. Sometimes I'll go to Europe.
Right.
August, I'll go out to California. September, just kind of a mixture of two, or go somewhere else. But I'd say 9 months out of the year for me, Rob, the weather is the best weather in the country. I mean, only maybe second by certain places, around LA, but then you have to deal with LA. But outside of that, I like the weather. It's just comfortable for me.
Right.
It's comfortable.
This is a very comfortable place.
It's just, it's comfortable. If you know how to do it right, it's a good, you can have a good time. Plus, my family's here, mom, dad, brothers, and sisters.
Right.
And you just kind of you feel good.
That's awesome. You know what? You're right. It is comfortable. I'm surprised Lazy Boy doesn't have their headquarters out here, because this is very much. People move here. I came in from Canada, and I've never left.
Yeah.
But around the same time you did. So we got here around about 25 years ago, and it went went really quick. But you know what? This place has grown. It's continuing to grow, and one of the hottest places in the country.
Yeah.
I mean, not hot just weather-wise, just hottest places to come visit, right?
Well, it's interesting because, like I said, I came here, I'm aging myself, in 78, so you're talking long time ago. And we've seen some major changes over the past, 40-something years.
Right.
Even where I grew up, it's totally different. Scottsdale is totally different. A lot of people have discovered that, it's good living out here. It's getting crowded in some areas, but it's good living for the most part. If you can get acclimated to the summer in some way, then
it really, in comparison to the rest of the country,
correct.
I'll take this,
Correct.
dry and, convert, versus 80, 90 in Philadelphia, or New York, right? And you're just sweating your, off, right? It's like, here it's hot, but everybody's got a pool.
Yeah, if you have a pool, you have an air conditioner, and then if you take maybe one vacation, July for a week or two, you go to California, you go somewhere where it's cool.
Even black people have pools here in Scottsdale. I gotta make you laugh. Literally, it's like, it's like, hey, Do you have a pool? Yeah. We don't know how to swim, but we have a pool. So
we definitely know how to swim in my house.
Exactly.
I grew up as a kid in the pool. We'd have big pool parties. So swimming was a big part. And the thing is, I can't even remember how I learned how to swim. I just always remember knowing how to swim. My mother was, she could swim, but she was always paranoid. Like, I have 5 brothers and sisters, so she was always paranoid with, hey, to make sure they know how to swim, because we couldn't, if we ate, we had to wait 2 hours to go in the pool, which is like, I don't even know if they do that anymore, but you know what I mean? So, it was, it was kind of, growing up, when I look back at it, it was kind of like, I'm not going to say Mayberry, because that's a little too cool, but it was a good time, 80s, and the early 90s. It was a great time out here.
Well, let me tell you how much of an idiot I was. I moved here from Canada, right? And I'm like, everybody has a pool. So, of course, I buy this house, I get the biggest pool that I could get, right?
Yeah.
And then I get the biggest heater that can heat that pool. Wow. And then I got the biggest bill.
Yeah, I was going to say.
It's like
if you have a pool and you heat it, that you're talking minimum. Now it's got to be $1,500 a month.
It's got to be. It was $800 a month back
12 years ago. Yeah. So it's probably. I had and Chris knows that I built a house in Arcadia back in 08, 09.
Right.
It became a rental, market crash, blah blah blah. And the guy used to heat the pool every week or every month, and it was almost $1,000 back then. So, and you don't really, here's the thing, in the summer, you don't need to heat the pool, obviously. The winters, you want to swim in there, you can, but, winter swimming, if you want to do it, great, but it's more of I think a jacuzzi sauna type.
Exactly.
And
then I got smart. Then I only hit the jacuzzi.
That's
okay, right?
Yeah, you're fine. Because you sit in the jacuzzi, it's nice to come out, and you come into the cold weather. The one thing about Arizona that a lot of people don't realize is it can get cold here.
Exactly.
And if you think you're going to be, it's 80 degrees, your shirt's off during the day.
Right.
At nighttime, you're freezing because it's 49 or sometimes 39.
Right.
So, but still, that all being said, I prefer it over Chicago's winters. I prefer it over anywhere else that I've been.
I would agree with you. And with that, I'm going to take a little bit of break and give credit to the bar here at Zuzu Lounge. Today we're featuring the Louisville Slugger. This is the Louisville. I want to tell you what this is made of, because this is a new drink, and that's why I'm interested in it. But it's got Knob Creek bourbon and pomegranate. It's got a tarragon and grapefruit. So this is the Louisville Slugger. Baseball season will be coming soon. There we go. Very tasty. Wow. That's incredible. So we got it. That loosens us up to get started on some
All right.
Here we go. So tell me, what is it? What do you do? What do you do for business?
Great question. I'm a mortgage broker.
Right.
I've been doing that for 21 years now. Started back in 2002.
Right.
Prior to that, I was a stockbroker at Charles Schwab, licensed Series 7.
Okay.
This is before kind of the internet took off. People would call in, and you had to actually place a trade.
Right.
It was computer generated, but it was a lot of papers and stuff. So I did that for 2.5 years out of college, and then I went into. My brother one day just said, "Hey, do you know anything about the mortgage business?" I said, "No." And he said, "Well, you work pretty hard, so why don't you give it a shot?" And the rest is kind of history.
Just never look back.
Never look back. I've also, done. I've flipped land. I built spec homes. I'm still in real estate now. I still, own multiple properties, and so real estate's kind of my bread and butter thing that I do. But primarily, a mortgage broker.
Right.
And so if people are looking for homes, I can get the financing.
I tell you what, and I think that's important. And this has been this past year.
Yeah.
Tell me about the roller coaster, because I heard it was a roller coaster this past year.
You heard correctly. I would say 2023, just from a production standpoint, for me was probably the lowest year, to be quite honest with you. It started out the first quarter pretty good, but once the rates jumped up, and it went up 2.5%.
So what was the rate? How high did it get?
I'd say 7.5.
Wow.
And that was up from 2.9.
Right.
3%. So so for instance, if someone is looking to buy a home, $700,000, that's a difference. It's an additional $1,000 or more in payment. sometimes 1,500, depending on their credit score and things of that nature. But yeah, so it was a bit of a slowdown, so to speak.
Right.
Refi slowed down, and so did purchases. Now, present as of December, I think we were 19th or 20th, rates have gone down about a point, and a little birdie's kind of told some of us that they're going to lower it about 2 points, the Fed. So if that happens, if rates hit that, what I think that get into that mid-fives, 4.99, I think, we could.
Which is realistic.
Which is realistic.
I mean, don't give me 3%.
Yeah, 3%. Well, here's the thing. For 15 years, you basically had rates 2.5%, and that is not normal. It's great for if you're buying a home, and I think a lot of people sat on the fence.
Right.
And actually should have bought.
Right.
And they didn't. I still get phone calls. Where the rates? It's like, well, it's a little bit higher. But if they're trending downwards. I mean, if you look at the 10-year note, they're trending downwards every day. And so we're really hoping this first quarter, we're going to see some activity. And I think that's going to definitely be a catalyst for activity for purchases and for refis, because there's a lot of people sitting on equity.
Right.
And, they want to pay off some things. Because here's the thing. If you're sitting on, if you have a couple $100,000 in equity and you've got maybe $34,000 in credit card debt.
Right.
And, you're at 15, 20, 25, 30%. Well, you take a little bit of money out, pay that off, it's going to, decrease your overall monthly output as far as those are concerned. So we're hoping, fingers crossed, that this first quarter we're going to see definitely some stimulus.
Well, there's this thing. It begins with an E, and I'm not talking about an E that men get. I'm talking about an E that we all kind of going to hear about for the next 9-10 months of our lives, and then there's going to be another rebirthing of somebody. The election.
Yeah, of course.
I mean, come on.
That's going to be.
Huge. It's like what you do is like, hey, you know what? I want to get back.
Yeah. Lower the rates.
It's that simple.
It's really that simple.
And it was always planned that. People are like, well, all we had to do was avoid the recession.
Yeah.
Avoid the R, right?
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And then we just, once it kind of got comfortable with that, and then it was always a plan, but it was a little bit quieter plan this last 4 years. It wasn't like a hey, plan. Now the hay is getting ready to come out, and it's in the form of, hey, we're going to lower these rates and everybody's going to get so hyper focused on, you know what? I can buy a house now. I can do this now. Now what?
Absolutely. Because just from a lending standpoint, I can't tell you how many people that I have that want to buy, but rates were so high, and prices in Arizona are sky high. If you're looking to buy, let's just say in Old Town Scottsdale, and I was just telling someone this today, you're looking over 2,000 square feet. If it's completely renovated, you're talking almost $1 million, if not $1 million.
Right.
So then you take that, you have to get to the minimum, you have to put a large down payment to be a conventional loan. And so now, at 7%, you gotta
stroke it.
You have a real high payment.
Right.
A really high payment. That's not even including if you have that mortgage insurance, which your homeowner's insurance is going to be, what taxes are going to be,
right,
and HOA, depending if it's a condo or not, if it's in townhome. So. Yeah, it's an easy thing that whoever's running, whoever's winning, talk about lower rates, stimulate the economy a little bit. A lot of economists would probably say, no, keep the rates where they are, but people are feeling it.
No, they're feeling it. They're still feeling it. Gas has dropped a little bit, but people are still. It's so interesting because it's like a wave. It's like you can make the announcement by the time people feel it. So they're going to announce it somewhere in that first quarter, so that it gets a full ride.
100%, of course, because the thing is that lowering rates 2%, 2.5%. Because remember, when the Fed lowers it, then the mortgage brokers will sometimes drop the rates even more, and so.